I got to hear Father Cantalamessa once give a talk. He preaches to the Pope. And I got to hear him speak. I don't know how that happened. It was amazing. And he told a story. I don't remember every detail of the story, but I remember the essence of it. And he had gone to a prayer meeting. Then he went, I don't remember if it was a train or a bus, but public transportation home, not dressed as a priest, not holding a breviary or a Bible. He was like, there was nothing about me to tell anyone who I was or that I was praying. And he said he sat there and he kept praying silently in his heart. Nobody knew that. And this woman kept staring at him. And when they got to the end of the trip, she came and said to him, when I see your face, I'm obliged to believe in God.
Yeah.
Like there was, this man was somehow radiating God's love to this woman just because his heart was united with God.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to tell her that. And I think when we have eyes to see it, all of us do that. Carol Hauslander says that Christ is in everyone. And sometimes it's a little harder to recognize. Maybe it's just the empty tomb, but like he's in everyone. And so we really have to need to pray for the grace to be able to see that in our neighbor and in ourselves. Like I went on retreat once and I went to confession and the priest asked me at the end of confession, have you forgiven the people that have hurt you? And I had just done the unbound prayers the night before. So I was like, yes, I have. I can actually say that. I have just forgiven them. And he said, okay, well, do you love yourself? Like instant, like gut is like, that I don't like that question. And I'm like, I'm standing before the living God. You're asking me this in like, I can't answer that. Like, I don't know. What do you, I mean, I don't know.
What kind of stupid question's that?
And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. Just, you don't have to answer. Just go pray about that.
Yeah.
And I was just like amazed by my reaction. Like this is after I've written a book on the Father's love. And then this priest asked me if I love myself. And I'm like, ah! And I went and prayed about it. You know what hit me is like, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Like we think we're cursed, but actually we're blessed. And when Jesus says like, what are the greatest commandments? He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Like loving myself and loving my neighbor is like unto loving God. Like it's that important. This is what Jesus tells me is that important. And so like, cause what I sat with was like, well, why is he asking me this in confession? Is it a sin that I don't love myself? And then I realized, well, the Lord is asking me to. And how am I going to love my neighbor if I can't even love me? And so there was just a lot there. And so I think each of us should take that to prayer. If we recoil in our very guts when someone asks us if we love ourselves, we should really go to the Lord and say, I'm really struggling with this. Can you speak into this? Can you help me to see not just that I'm beloved to you because you're so merciful and you forgive everything, but that I'm actually just beloved.
It reminds me of Elder Thaddeus's book, Our Thoughts Determine Our Lives.
Oh, it's so good.
So it's like if I sit and hate myself and I'm uncomfortable with being alone with myself and I'm condemning myself and I believe all the worst things about myself and any compliment I'm given, I think, well, you obviously don't know me, so that's crap.
Yeah.
So it's easy to believe the criticism. It's not easy at all to accept the compliments. And so if I'm in that state, how can I love you? You know, like that disorder and that agitation within me is going to express itself outward.
Yeah, you can't because you're not loving yourself. And so how can you like look around and see the light of God in someone else? Like you're not even looking at them. You're still looking at yourself. Yeah. And I'm saying this because I'm so familiar with it.
Yeah. Now, this is a strong subtitle, Journeying from Self-Contempt to the Father's Delight. Self-contempt. You want to talk about that?
You know, a very dear friend of mine, Father Francis, he just entered a Trappist monastery. So pray for Father Francis. I went to confession once with him and I confessed self-condemnation, self-contempt. And he goes, oh, he's a very gentle soul. It's the most gentle soul I've ever met. Oh, you wouldn't give me poison to drink, would you?
He said
and I said, that's what he asked me. I said, well, no. And he said, well, why are you drinking it yourself? That was a really important confession for me. Like, I hadn't, like, we can get so caught up in our false humility of like, well, I'm wretched and I've done all these bad things and I'm just a mess. So like, when you compliment me, like, no, it's not true. You don't actually know me. But that's really also pride, because we're not announcing the truth that we're beloved to the Father. And that took me years and years and years and years to come to even a little bit of an understanding of that. Like, priests would tell me all the time in confession, that's false humility. And I'm like, what does that mean? I can't see it. I don't understand. I'm not trying to not understand. I just don't. But that one really helped me. Like, I'm literally just drinking poison. Like, and I'm not announcing the truth. I'm not announcing of who I actually am. Mm-hmm. Like, each one of us needs to be Jesus in the Jordan, hearing seeing the heavens open and hearing the Father say, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Like, each of us needs that, even though we're daughters. Like, but we're in Christ. We're all the beloved Son.
So a good prayer to take away for those watching and for us might be, Father, tell me you love me until I finally give in and believe you.
That's a good one. Whatever is real, whatever is that real thing that's in there needs to bubble out. Like, I think you hate me because all these terrible things have happened to me. Yeah. Why haven't you protected me? If you loved me that much, why haven't you protected me? Yeah. All of that needs to come up.
Yes.
We need to be Job. We need to be Jeremiah, Lamentations 3. Wow. Talk about being real with the Father. Like, just read Lamentations 3.
Okay.
Like, you gotta just tell him all of it. And then, see, we're afraid. We struggle to receive the Father's love because we're afraid to pray, because we're afraid to be silent, because if we're silent, we'll find out about ourselves, and we're afraid of that. And so, but like, that's the stuff we need to take to prayer, and we need to risk sitting in the silence with the Father with that, so that he can speak into it.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.